What's up everybody, how you guys doing? I'm here just talking about a quick little tip for the Panasonic G85. You can actually use this tip for any camera really, but I'm just in this video particularly using the Panasonic G85. Now what I'm talking about is ND filters. ND filters are used by a lot of people who do a lot of filmmaking or capturing video, and this Panasonic G85 does not come with any kind of ND filter, nor is it built into the software as some cameras might have. So in order to get those smooth looking, great looking shots, you need to really put an ND filter on this guy so that your images don't look so overblown out, and so the colors don't look washed out either. Now there's a lot of videos out there that talk about what ND filters do. Now just to keep it really quick, if you when using an ND filter, it basically allows you to use a slower shutter speed, because when you're shooting in broad daylight, like literally sunny outside beaming down at you, your shutter speed's going to be really fast. When you use ND filters, it just kind of makes everything darker, allowing you to use slower shutter speeds, and you get that more kind of cinematic look. You're trying to keep everything looking like 24 frames per second. Now, like I said, I'm just using the G85 in this video, using the 12-60 kit lens. This is a standard zoom lens that comes with the camera, and I'm just going to show you guys what I'm going to use to put an ND filter on this thing. Now, in order to put an ND filter on this lens, I'm going to be using two products here. These two products I'll have linked down below. Basically what they just are, one is a adapter ring, a filter adapter ring. Basically the filter thread on this 12-60 lens is, I believe, a 58 millimeter. Yeah, it's a 58 millimeter, you can see over there. And I'm just getting this adapter to make it into a 67 millimeter thread. Now the reason why I'm doing that is because I've read some reviews online and some articles where when trying to put an ND filter on this guy, you'll get some vignetting in the corners of your shots, and also when using a really dark ND filter, some people complained of seeing some sort of like X mark that comes up on the screen. Now by using a 67 millimeter ND filter, it's a lot bigger than the standard 58, so you shouldn't get that vignetting, or you shouldn't hopefully see the X issue that everyone's complaining about. Now this filter adapter thread is made by a company called Altura Photo. This is a 58 millimeter filter thread, but this is actually a step up ring to 77. I think in the previous clip I said 67, but I meant to say 77. So basically this step up adapter ring will turn a 58 millimeter thread into 77, which, like I said, should get rid of that vignetting. So we'll just take this. Like I said, all these products will have links in the description below to where you can purchase them. Comes with a pretty big microfiber cloth, some paperwork, and the actual filter thread itself. Basically, it's just like a piece of plastic that you would screw on to the front element of your lens, and then you would be able to put a bigger filter on this. So it's pretty simple, nice and thin, lightweight. Let's actually put this on the camera. Just screw it on like that. There we go. It's on. So when you extend it, the filter goes along with it, and it's not that much bigger. Alright, next we have the actual ND filter itself. This is an ND filter made by SD. It's actually a variable ND filter, and what that means is that when you twist the ring, the ND filter will actually go from the lightest to the darkest, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So let's just get in here. And here's the filter itself. It comes in a nice case. Alright. And there's the ND filter itself. These two arrows line up. This is the minimum ND filter, and you can see it's actually not that much of a difference. But there is a little bit of darkness there. But then what happens is when you turn this arrow to the max setting, which is over here, the max setting, you'll see what happens. You see it gets darker until it gets pretty completely dark. You can see there. So basically what that allows you to do is slow down your shutter speed and get that more cinematic look. You see, twist it back. Now it's back to the lightest setting, and then you twist it and you're back to the darkest setting. Now this is great for when you're on the go. You know, different lighting conditions when you're inside, and then you're going back outside to like broad daylight. You can rotate this around, and it's dark for getting those nice shots outside. The ring is really smooth here, really smooth. It's really smooth. So actually, let's put this on the camera itself. There we go. And we're set. And that's what it would look like. See? You can see the lens. When you turn it, it gets darker. So that's basically the setup that I'm going to use this ND filter on the G85, so that when I'm outside I get better shots with this lens. So now I'm just going to take this outside and get some shots and show you the differences between using an ND filter and not using an ND filter. Alright, so right now I'm filming on the G85 now with the ND filter attached to the lens. Right now I'm shooting in aperture priority mode on the camera, so I have the camera set to the lowest aperture of 3.5. The ND filter is attached and it's set to the minimum darkness. So this is like the brightest this ND filter will get. It's pretty sunny right now. Actually, today's the day of the solar eclipse, which is about to happen in like half an hour here in Jersey. But let's just walk in here to the sunlight. You can see it's really like washed out and bright around me. You know, the colors are kind of washed out, and the you know, you don't get that much kind of color. So let's just try it out here. So right now I'm in the sun, it's bright out, and then let's just turn this to the darker setting. Let's see what happens. So I'm slowly turning it to darker setting. As you can see, kind of the colors are kind of getting bright, more vibrant, more contrasty, and this is about like 3/4 of the way. And it's a lot better with this ND filter than without it, or even at its minimum setting, because the colors look a lot better now. So you can see the colors look better, you know, it's not as washed out. And let's just actually turn this to the darkest setting, which is right there. This is the darkest this ND filter will go. Actually, you know, it's pretty dark, you know. It's actually darker than I would assume, but it looks pretty good. You know, let's go in the shade real quick. So then when you're in the shade and things get too dark, you can always just turn this back up. And there you go, it looks better, you know? So this variable ND filter is really handy in situations like where the conditions will change from light to dark. Okay, so right now I'm shooting without the ND filter. I actually took it off, it's right here. So I took off the ND filter just to show you guys what this G85 looks like without the ND filter. It's not too bad, it's not too washed out, but let's see now what it looks like with the ND filter at its minimum setting. Alright, now this is with the ND filter on. This is at the minimum setting of the ND filter. This is the, you know, letting the most light in as it can. It looks a little better. You know, it's not too much of a difference, I think, from what I can see on the screen. It's not too much of a difference, but colors look a little better, what it looks like. But I'm gonna turn now the ND filter like a fourth of the way. So that's a fourth of the way. That's what it looks like there. And then now if we turn it half, that's about halfway. That's the ND filter halfway. Camera is still in aperture priority, 3.5 aperture. And this is 3/4 of the way. This is 3/4 of the ND filter. And then now let's just turn it up all the way to the max. And this is the darkest this ND filter would go. And you can actually see, I can see in the screen, it's really dark. So it's not the brightest outside right now, but no matter how bright it is out here, you can see how well this ND filter does. So let's just turn it back to like 3/4. This is 3/4. I think this looks good. I'm shooting in 4K right now, so the only other thing I'm worried about is that this ND filter kind of taking away from the clarity and sharpness and crispiness of the 4K resolution of this G85. But from what I see on the screen, it looks okay. I'm gonna have to import this to my computer and see and compare the footage side by side. But you know, it looks good. Looks good. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions about this ND filter or anything like that, leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the time. Leave a like down below. Subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Alright, so I was actually looking over some of that footage that I shot earlier today, and and I found to be some sort of issues. It's really dark right now. Now, one thing that I noticed was that around the 6:23 mark of this video, when I'm like directly under the sun, I'm wearing a white t-shirt. I noticed that there was some ghosting around my shoulder. So if you go back to around the 6:23 mark where I'm outside, you'll see around my left shoulder, I believe it is, like you'll see like some ghosting. It's not sharp, like it's kind of just fuzzy, like white fuzziness around my shoulder, and that's not normal. I haven't seen that on this camera at all up until I put this filter on there. And the second thing is, if you go to like the 8:43 mark where I was testing like different stops on this ND filter, when I turned it all the way to the max and I stepped away from the camera, you saw the kind of X marking that I was talking about earlier in this video. I never knew what people were talking about, but up until I reviewed the footage, I saw what people were talking about. You can actually see kind of like an X appear on the screen where like it's kind of dark in some areas but light in some areas, and it forms like an X. I'm not sure if that's going to be a complete deal breaker for me. It might be. I might just keep it anyway. Just keep the whole ND filter set up just to have it in case I need it sometime in the future. But it's kind of disappointing seeing these issues with these with this filter. But yeah, I mean, it's up to you. You can make your purchase decision on your own. Like I said, links are down below if you want to check these things out. Now the filter's not bad. It's like around 20 bucks or so it's not bad for me. It's not that bad. I'll think about it. From the footage I saw, the 4K video doesn't seem to be that off compared to no filter, but the issues with the whole X mark and the kind of ghosting is definitely a problem. But yeah, I just wanted to put that, you know, kind of disclaimer out there after editing this video, after reviewing the footage. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there and let you guys know. Thank you guys again for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.